The franchise has a model, they have a playbook, and they have all the resources to help you maximize your success. I would say three components that I was looking for in a franchise brand, an element of people service. I wanted to provide a service, not a product, having some flexibility and autonomy to be able to enjoy time with family and friends on holidays. It's going to take you, the business owner, to make it happen.
Welcome to the Franchise Freedom Podcast, where you can escape the corporate trap through franchise ownership. Here's your host, Giuseppe Grammatico, the Franchise Guide.
Welcome to the Franchise Freedom Podcast. I'm your host, Giuseppe Grammatico, your Franchise Guide, the show where we help corporate executives experience time and financial freedom via franchising. We are going to continue our series with part two with my good friend, Joey Romanchek, and kind of discuss how things are going now with Resto Pros, determining the right brand. And, we talked about when we first started working together, there's no exact number because it changes, but we'll say around 4,000 franchise companies and 70 plus industries. So what really stood out about, maybe we'll work in reverse. What stood out about Resto Pros that made you make that decision?
Yeah, well, I guess in the spirit of the conversation, we're talking about decision-making here. So I'll break it down into a few pieces.
Sure.
When we started this conversation, it was a bit of, well, what do I like? What do I not like? What do I enjoy about my previous career? What worked well there? And, what am I looking for in the next thing? And so for me, it was, I would say three components that I was looking for in a franchise brand, because these three components did not bring me immediately and directly to Resto Pros. Right. It was some level of customer service and experience. So I wanted to be working with people. People is a strength of mine, and being able to provide customer experience, looking at customer experience processes and figuring out ways to do that better is not only a strength, but something I really enjoy and take fulfillment out of. So I wanted there to be an element of people service. Number two, I guess I kind of said it there, was service. I wanted to provide a service, not a product. And so when we started to look at some of these brands, it was important to me that there was a service that we were providing. I felt like that could give us a bit of a competitive edge in whatever brand it was going to be. And then I would say number three for me was having some flexibility and autonomy to be able to enjoy time with family and friends on holidays. This was something that was so foreign to me. And so I wanted to be able to, at least that, maybe it's not the immediacy, but at a point, I wanted to be able to have the comfort where I could enjoy my holidays, and unless there's an emergency, my people as well. So we were looking at a couple of different brands. I won't say any of the other brands that I didn't settle on. They were great for their own reasons, but just not for me. I mean, one that we were looking at was very kids and family focused. I'm not a family person yet. I don't have children of my own just yet. It didn't feel like something that would align with me at this point. Maybe when I have kids, it'll be something I think about. And to me, the water mitigation game and what I learned in the discovery was it's really a business to business game. We're the basis of a lot of our early sales right now are the business relationships that we're building. And so with that, I was like, okay, now we have something where I can network and improve the potential for more sales. I can bring in people that might be able to help us establish a network. And so really, we don't need to be better at the website optimization, the SEO, some of those, things that happen where we're just waiting on the phone. We can be active about this and just build relationships and hit doors and try to find new opportunities. I like that because that gave me a little bit of control over our early sales, especially being in it in the beginning full time. Right. And so that was really what brought me over to Resto Pros. But the biggest thing was just being able to service other people. The joys that I got in my previous role were just helping people in a time of need. They either needed a car because of X, Y, and Z. There was some type of issue, and being that person that was able to help them when they needed something done most and be able to handle the problems that they might experience with a transaction like that, I always enjoyed. And so for me, I've gotten a great joy and sense of fulfillment out of helping people that are in my community. I'm walking these streets, I'm running with my dog, and I'm running past your house. So, it's great to be able to help and participate within the community. And all those things really helped me settle on what ended up being a really great partnership with the brand I did settle on with Rest of Pros.
Awesome. I love that. You nailed it. I mean, you covered a few things there. We talked about how to win friends and influence people. If you could recommend another book, I know you said you didn't have it on you, but if you could recommend another book to the audience listening, what would that be?
We were talking about it before, but business building and business developing is a new skill for me. It's a collection of a lot of different skills, but looking at building a business and scaling the business that you want is something that is foreign to many people, but
Right.
also wealth of resources available. I'm going to butcher the author's name. I don't know if I know it. You know it better than me, but you recommended it to me. That's Traction.
Mm.
And that's Giuseppe,
Gino,
remind me, what's that author's
Gino
name?
Wickman. Yeah, Gino Wickman. Yep.
he beyond just Traction, he does amazing work as far as being able to provide entrepreneurships with resources to make sure that not only are they growing and advancing in their business, but also let's remember that like my business grows and is running at full speed if I am well, if I am right of mind, if I am locked in and focused on not only my business but my passions and my family. And
Right.
Gene gives like a ton of resources on why that is so important, especially at this stage. So Traction has been one for me. It's really helped me understand where operationally we need to be focused on right now, and especially because that's really where all my time's going. So when it comes back to the business books, it's going to be that. That's the big one for me right now.
I think they should use that as a textbook in school, in a business related class.
It really should. I think the other one that I would give, and I'm looking at it right now. This one I read in 2023. It's 4,000 Weeks, and it's by Oliver Berkman. 4,000 Weeks. It is a bit of a different look on productivity. I am guilty, as probably many other people, of overstuffing my calendar, my to-do list, and feeling as though I need to maximize every moment of my day. What we don't realize is maximization always also happens in the stillness of our days, taking a few moments to just, be here in this conversation versus all of the other things that are going on.
Right.
So whether it's, just looking at a study guide from that book or just listening to some of those chapters, I recommend anybody who's thinking about this or who is a high achiever trying to go out there and do some great things in this world, take a beat and read that book.
Awesome. No, it's great. I've never that one I haven't heard, so I jotted that down. I guess any other piece of advice from someone that's actually done the transition from W-2 to employee to employer? Any other advice? Any other suggestion?
Yeah. This has been one that unfortunately there's a lot of layoffs going on, and there's a lot of layoffs happening in my network right now. So I've been getting a lot of people who, in one way or another, whether it's franchising or just trying to figure out what is going to be the next thing that happens to them, trying to figure out what's next. The thing that I find myself going back to when it comes to feedback on franchise or business ownership, even if you're partnering with a franchise, remember, you are accepting the responsibility of business ownership. Right. The franchise has a model, they have a playbook, and they have all the resources as they should if they're a good brand to help you maximize your success. But the trick there is maximize your success and not guarantee your success. And so I believe that anybody who's interested in franchise ownership should start with the acceptance of the responsibility that they're now a business owner. And what that means, maybe late nights. What that means, things are going to go wrong. What that means, and I see you're nodding because you're like, yeah, things are going to go wrong. Like, it just happens. It happens.
It happens. Yeah, it's part of it. It's a business, right? Franchise business on training wheels. If you want an explanation of what it is,
right. So, there might be a safety net, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to still fall. And so I think for me, I try to impasse this. acceptance of responsibility as the biggest piece of takeaway when it comes to making this decision. Because if you expect it to be easy, it won't. But that's a good thing. If you expect it to be easy work and very passive from the beginning, it may, but it also might not. And you got to be ready to accept that. It might take a lot of effort and challenge to get where you want it to be in your mind. That vision isn't going to happen on its own. It's going to take you, the business owner, to make it happen. And so if you just accept that some of those things are going to happen, when those problems happen, you're like, oh, okay, wait. I got this.
Right.
I accepted this responsibility. So now we're going to make it right. And man, that mindset has changed everything for me, because now when things go awry, which they will, we tackle it, we take it on full steam ahead. And I think sometimes some of the frustrations of somebody maybe who is in this chair, having made this decision and is wrestling with the other side of it, where maybe it's not working, maybe it's not the right brand, I think comes down to, I thought it was going to work out. I thought this, I thought that, but it starts and ends with you.
Well said. And I got to give you credit there. Some people don't realize that for years, for 10 years later, they're figuring this out. And it's true. There's no secret to franchising. It's the model has been proven. I wrote in my book, you have an unfair advantage, but at the end of the day, it's a business. No matter how good you go, their recruitment is for staff, someone can leave, right? Someone can quit. Someone cannot pay, they try to do everything they can to support you, but ultimately there's a risk involved, and people need to accept that. You need to go in saying, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make this business work. And that's what the franchisor is looking for. They're looking for someone that not only is going to follow the system, but that's going to do everything they can to say, you know what, I'm going to make this work. If it means more hours than anticipated, so be it. I'm not just going to go to training and just check in once in a while. I'm going to be active in this business. I'm going to hire the right staff. There may be some rehiring in there. It may be that manager didn't work out or that salesperson, but ultimately it is on you. And very well said. And because I work with a lot of people and they don't figure it out. They still haven't figured it out in many cases, but or they've just lost sight. They've just kind of been too kind of in the business. So well said. That was actually that was a great way to kind of sum up the episode. I'm going to put everything in the show notes, but tell everyone how they can reach you, how they can find your website and information.
Yeah, I'm doing my best to share as much as I can about the early days of this decision and also the ongoings of our business right on my LinkedIn page. So you can follow me on my LinkedIn. It is not my full name. It's not Joseph Romanchek. That's Joey Romanchek. I've always been a Joey. I'm not a Joseph. So find me on LinkedIn, Joey Romanchek. Probably the best place for us right now. If you want to learn a little bit more about Restapros, the brand, or also just like what we do in our services, especially if you're local to Hudson County, it's Restapros of Hudson County. The website's restapros.co/Hudson County. We could be found there. Those are the two best places right now, I'd say.
Awesome. And I'm going to put all that. So I'll have all the handles, social media, website. I'm just taking a look at my list to make sure we have everything here. We do. So feel free. And if you want to reach out to Joey's got, I really enjoy his posts, and, I kind of wish I did that looking back. Social media, I wasn't really on LinkedIn back in 2006, but it's nice to read like, okay, this is the journey. This is what's kind of going on, not from someone who has researched it, right? Is actually doing it on a daily basis. So from the perspective of someone that's thinking of making that transition, it's a great way to kind of experience the life of Joey, and then kind of know what to expect. So I appreciate
the life
that.
of Joey. It's Restapros also, right? I don't hide anything. I try to keep it objective. I let you know when it's tough. I let you know when things are good, what we're doing to overcome some of the challenges. And hey, that's what business ownership is, right? It's not meant to be all perfect. I haven't met a business owner who's told me, hey, no, all good. Never had an issue before in my life. It doesn't happen. I want to share with other people who are, thinking about this stuff, thinking about making that decision, so that you can see all facets of that coin. So, yeah.
I appreciate that. And I'm sure everyone else will. I know I enjoy them. Joey, I really appreciate you coming on the show. I know you got a million things going on. Looking forward for the episode to air. And yeah, if there's anything else, any of the book suggestions or anything, we can always add those later on in the show notes. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Wishing you the best of luck. I'm sure we're going to stay in touch, and maybe we'll have you back on in a year. We'll let you know how things are going. And by then you'll do the show on a Caribbean island somewhere.
That's the goal, man. Yes, sir.
In the sun on the phone. So maybe we'll see. So we'll see where's Joey at in the next year or so. But again, I do appreciate it, and looking forward to chatting soon.
Maybe we could chat in between those Mai Tais. Giuseppe, it was a ton of fun.
That worked. Maybe we should do it together, right? Maybe we should do it together.
Hey, I'll see you there. I'll see
Thanks
you
again.
there.
Take care.
Be good.
All right. And that concludes our 2-part series with Joey Romanchek. I just wanted to thank Joey again for his time. I know he's really busy with that, with his new business, but I appreciate all the feedback. If you have any questions on how to go from employee to employer, any questions for Joey or anything we can help with, let us know. Leave us a message in the comments. Send us an email. Go right to the website, ggthefranchiseguide.com. You can gather, you'll be able to see this show, 20 plus FAQs that we've gathered and we're constantly adding to. You can send us a message or even a request to be a guest on the show. Looking forward to your feedback and talk to you guys soon.
Thanks for tuning in. If you want to learn how to make the transition from corporate to owning your franchise, join Giuseppe on the next episode. You can also follow on all social media platforms and achieve financial and time freedom today.